Okay, so let's subtract these fractions, one from the other. Again, factored form first. So in my first fraction, there is a common factor of 2. So I'm going to factor out that 2, and this becomes 2 times the quantity of x squared minus 15. The denominator here is the difference of squared. So I've got an x minus 3 times an x plus 3. And I'm going to be subtracting x plus 5 over x plus 3. Okay, so in this form, I can see quite nicely that I have my denominators already both have a common factor of x plus 3 in them. What they don't have is they both don't have an x minus 3. So I just need to include this factor over in this fraction. So I'm going to multiply this fraction by x minus 3 over x minus 3. And that will totally give me common denominators, and it will also simultaneously adjust the numerator so that this fraction is exactly the same fraction that I started with. They're equivalent to each other. Well, now that I have my common denominator of x minus 3 times x plus 3, let's go ahead and simplify my numerator. Now that I look at this, it's kind of silly that I factored out this, so I'm just going to write it back as 2x squared minus 30. Now, I am going to multiply these binomials. In fact, I'm going to do that off to the side here. I'm going to go ahead and multiply the x plus 5 times the x minus 3. When I do that, I get x squared plus 2x. 5 minus 3 is 2, minus 15. So that is what I am subtracting. I am subtracting that entire thing. So let's make sure that we write that down correctly. Minus, in parentheses, x squared plus 2x minus 15. Okay, so now that that's taken care of, let's go ahead and simplify the numerator. So 2x squared minus an x squared is just going to be 1x squared. And next, I'm going to have a factor of negative 2x. And then next, I'm going to have a positive 15. Well, a positive 15 if I'm there, but I have a negative 30 and then plus 15. So I could have done that in one step. Well, I've got an eraser. Why don't I do that? Negative 30 plus 15 is going to be minus 15. And my denominator is x minus 3 times x plus 3. It is a good idea to take a moment and look at this and see if there's any common factors. So I'm going to go ahead and factor this numerator just to check if it has something in common with the denominator. If I factor this numerator, it is an x, and I'm looking at the factors of 15, which are 1, 3, and 5. So I'm going to build it with those factors, and it's pretty straightforward. It's going to be, to get the negative 2, I'm going to have a negative 5, and I'm going to have a positive 3. So negative 5x plus 3x is negative 2x, and that is x squared. Yeah, x squared minus 2x minus 15. And that's all over the x minus 3 times x plus 3. Now, I wouldn't have seen this unless I did go ahead and take that step and factor, but you can see I have a common factor of x plus 3 in both the numerator and denominator. There's also something I've got to be careful of, right? There's a restriction in the domain in the original problem and then this problem and this part also, right? I can see this all the way from the beginning that x may not be actually just plus or minus 3, right? It can't be positive 3, because if it was positive 3, that would make that term 0, or that factor 0. And if it was negative 3, it would make that factor 0. So x can't be plus or minus 3. And go ahead and eliminate the common factor, and my simplified difference then is x plus 5 over x minus 3. Done.